Mark Davis, Kriska Meinhardt, Luke Rule, and Nick the Doc Skirkowitz. Good evening. It is Monday, August 26, 2024 on a beautiful night, Monday night. Like I said, this is All About the Balls podcast. I am Mark Davis. I will be joined shortly by Nick the Doc Skirkowitz. He is just running a few minutes behind, but he told me, hey, just let that 30-second clip just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And that's just not what I'm about. I don't like doing that. I don't mind coming on here and talking a little bit if I have to. Last night we were live for about 4 hours. We were live from 9 Eastern to just about 1 a.m. Eastern this morning, and my body's a little tired. And I understand that. I mean, I'm not a full-time streamer by any means necessary, but I am here to talk a little ball, talk a little football, talk a little NFL. Tonight's going to be a good episode. Wow. Last night's recap, we did our fantasy football draft. So if you go back and watch this, if you're watching now, tune into it. It's about a 4-hour episode. The first 2 hours were about us doing our fantasy draft, us grading the other teams in the league. And then the last 2 hours turned into a questionnaire from some fans that we got last night, talking a little about Bryce Young, Jordan Love, their fantasy drafts, their fantasy lineups, talking about the Bears, the Lions, talking about a lot of things, talking about Bijan Robinson, talking even a little college ball, which, by the way, this Wednesday night, August 28th, we are going to do a college football episode. That's right. We're going to talk week one of this wonderful college slate that we got going on. We're also going to recap the Florida State-Georgia Tech game that happened during 0 week in Dublin, Ireland, where the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets were able to prevail 24-21 over the Florida State Seminoles. But we have big games this week, Miami and Florida, the Battle of Florida. So us Florida people, that is something that we're going to have an eye on. Texas A&M and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at the night game. Clemson and Georgia right down the road from where I'm living right now. And then Sunday, LSU, USC, Monday night, Florida State, Boston College, Texas, my team. They play the Colorado State. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what they're I think it's the Rams, if I'm not mistaken, but the Colorado State. There's some games going on. Thursday night, Minnesota and UNC are playing. So what's going on, Frank? Yay, man. I appreciate the love. Like I said, we're here every Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to be doing NFL talk. We're going to try and include college in that as well. If we can't do a Friday night episode when the season begins, we'll talk a little college ball on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We're going to talk fantasy football. Honestly, whoever's paying attention, whatever they want to hear during Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you start asking questions, you start making comments. We'll feed off of that. Thank you, Chris. The Dallas situation, yeah, they paid CeeDee Lamb, 4 years, $136 million deal. He's $38 million signing bonus. He's got, of course, the $100 million guarantee. He's got like you said, the situation. So he's averaging $34 million a year, second highest paid non-quarterback. The situation, man, it's crazy because Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, that's what I was hoping Doc was going to be here for. They seem like they're a little far away from Dak and Micah Parsons. The question is, I know Jared Jones says, when it comes to business, he could do anything. He's the best general manager for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't necessarily agree with that. Thank you, Manuel Avalar. Shout out to you, man. Hopefully you're doing well out there. I'm not sure where you're at nowadays. But yeah, when it comes back to Dallas real quick, Chris, I agree, man. It's very hard to focus on what's going to happen. I mean, do you pay Dak? Do you pay Parsons? Can you afford both? They're in that situation. I do agree you have to pay CeeDee Lamb. If they don't have CeeDee Lamb, this is a 4 or 5 win team. I think CeeDee Lamb gives you 3 or 4 wins on there. I still think the Dallas Cowboys are 8 or 9 win team. Call me crazy. They're not making the playoffs this year. When we do our predictions next Tuesday night, you're going to see that on September 3rd. I don't have the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. I have them around 7 to 9 wins. Also, Frank and Emmanuel, we are live on YouTube as well. If you want to tune on that, share this with your friends, share this with your family. The Kirk Cousins deal, Frank, I like it. I mean, I like Kirk Cousins. I've always liked him. I think he gets a bad knack for the primetime games, the playoff games. I still think if you actually look at the playoff and primetime stats, he doesn't have bad games. The offensive line and the defense has typically been a problem with the Minnesota Vikings and the Washington Commanders, where he was previously at. But I think with Atlanta, we're top 10 O-line. We have young weapons with Drake London, Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney. Welcome back, Cam. But yeah, I like the Kirk Cousins situation. I was a little upset with the Michael Penix pick at first because I'm thinking short-term value, but I like the long-term value of, Cousins there for 2-3 seasons, and then Michael Penix comes in, and we'll go from there. So We're going to see. I mean, I think we have a tough schedule to start the year. We have Pittsburgh, which I think we're actually going to win that game. And then Philly Monday night, and at home Sunday night against Kansas City. Hopefully, we got to win at least one of those 3 games. If we go 2-1, that'd be great. I don't know about if that's going to happen. Personally, I think going into Philly, it's tough. I think Philly's a decent team this year. Kansas City's Kansas City. Hopefully, we get Kansas City. They're playing Cincinnati and Baltimore. So I would like to see maybe that the Bengals and the Ravens beat up on them. That they go 2-0, and then we get the better of, or the weaker of the Chiefs. And then, yeah, Chris, when it comes to Ja'Marr Chase, I think he's going to get paid next year. I don't think he gets paid this year. I think he'll play this year underneath, because he's only in his 4th year. Doc, man, we'll welcome in. How you feeling, man? 4 hours like we did last night. How's your body feeling? I was a little rough after lunch today.
Dude, it was a struggle to get through the day. It was tough, but it was worth it.
Though. Yes. Cam, shoot us that trade request. Let us know what the trade is. But tonight, Cam, you're going to have to stick with us, because the first part of the show, it's going to be a dedicated segment where we're going to do our NFL award show. So we're talking Coach of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, the rookies on offense and defense, the offense and defense player of the year, and, of course, the most valuable player. I have everyone's picks besides Doc's, because Doc knew he was going to be on. But I have Alan's, I have Jake's, I have Chris's, I have Luke's, and, of course, I have mine. So we are going to do our awards, Cam. Stay tuned. If you want to talk fantasy football, want to talk more NFL football, me and Doc might stay around. The goal, by the way, for this NFL season, in my opinion, is to record Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern would be the ideal. If some of us have to go to midnight, if I got to stick around by myself to talk solo, if Doc and Jake want, I know Chris and Luke probably won't stay too late because of the family situation. We will be around 9 to 11, 9 to midnight. Oh, shoot. We got a surprise. We didn't think he was going to be in today. We got Jake Winnicott. Jake, you didn't do 4 hours. You didn't do 4 hours last night, but how are you feeling tonight?
Feeling great. In the middle of the draft.
Back, but
yeah, how's that draft going? What pick did you end up getting?
5 and a 14 team.
But Cam, just stick with us. Like I said, with the win-win content, we are here to hear your fantasy. We're going to knock through these award shows real quick. This might take about 40, 45 minutes, and then we're all yours for fantasy. Frank, Martin, Jake, you remember Frank? You remember Big Frank?
Frank.
Yeah, that's Frank. He's a Vikings fan. So, hey, just for you, Frank, skull, baby. I'll give you 1 skull for the year. That's all you're going to get. But Pitts could be a top 3 tight end. I agree with you. With Kirk, he does love his tight ends. I don't think he'll be top 3. I think he's going to hover around like maybe top 6. I'm a big Laporta fan. You haven't seen me, Frank, in a long time. I'm a big Iowa farm boy. Laporta, Travis Kelce's still there. Mark Andrews is Lamar's number 1 receiver. I don't know if Kyle Pitts can be top 3, but top 5, top 6, I wouldn't be surprised. But you guys ready for the award show or what? You guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
Let's knock this out, because we're going to have some – I feel like Cam and some of the boys are going to come back and – you need to wait on us. Hey, Cam, we're here every Tuesday, Wednesdays, man. You can obviously message us on you can go back on the videos and message us on YouTube too. Like, you go back to the videos and comment. I'll always answer. I'm the one that usually handles the social media. So we will get with this episode. Let's start, boys, with the comeback player of the year. I will give the betting odds and who won last year. This was won by Joe Flacco last year. Of course, he came in the middle of the season when Deshaun Watson got hurt. DTR didn't really work out. I think they had PJ for a little bit too. That didn't work out. Joe Flacco, 4th quarterback, came in, led the Browns to a playoff appearance. The betting odds right now, 1 through 3, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins. Who wants to go first? Jake already had yours written down, but Doc, whenever you say yours, I'll write yours down.
This is an easy one for me. I mean, this is a guy out on like the 3rd snap of the season last year. Coming back, he's got weapons. I don't think there's any way it's not Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. I think this one's way too easy. Yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, this was one of the easiest ones to pick too. I feel like it is Rodgers. But you can make a case for any other ones too. I mean, Cousins has a roster, Burrow, whatever. But you can make a case for any of them. But for me, it's Rodgers for sure.
Chris, he wanted to go Joe Burrow, but I'm not going to spoil what happens later on. He backtracked a little bit just because of what he does later. He wants to be like Jake. He wants to do the opposite. He wants to go Daniel Jones. That's
Chris.
He's a Danny Dimes fan. But Luke,
don't even read the rest of the picks. Don't even read the
but
rest.
Luke agrees. Luke agrees with you, Doc and Jake. He's got Aaron Rodgers. He said Nick Chubb's a close second, but I'm thinking that Nick Chubb doesn't play all the games, so that's why he went Aaron Rodgers, because more game time for Rodgers. And then Allen went. This is the way he texted it. Joe fucking Burrow. That's the way he said it. Joe fuck. Let me put that on there, Cam. Yes, that's Danny turnover. Your comments live right there. That's what he is. But Allen's got Joe Burrow. I'm gonna do the one homer pick that I have. I'm going Kirk Cousins. Like Jake said, he's got a roster. I think he has a better year than Aaron Rodgers stat-wise, just barely, because Aaron Rodgers he's gonna rely a lot on Breece Hall, just like Bijan. But
that's really funny. That's really funny riding the Rodgers train like you did last year. Rodgers makes New York a Super Bowl team, but now all of a sudden Kirk Cousins in Atlanta.
Aaron Rodgers is still going to be a 12-5 record. No worse.
Boy, how the turns have tabled.
No. Hey, Doc, bring that mic up just a little bit. Bring that mic up just a little bit. I'm still high on the Jets. I still have the Jets at 12-5, 13-4, winning the division. I just think that stat-wise, the quarterback in Atlanta is going to have better stats than the quarterback in New York. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a great year still. It's not going to be a bad year. It's just not going to be comeback player of the year. That's all. And Kirk Cousins is coming back from an injury faster than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had more recovery time than Aaron Rodgers. Am I wrong? He had more recovery time than Kirk Cousins, I mean.
No, but I mean, if you're going to miss 18, 19 weeks, I mean, you got the offseason no matter what. I mean,
shout out to Riz.
Rodgers was going to come back if the Jets were in a playoff push, but they weren't, so there was no sense in him coming back. He would have been back last season.
Riz does say Danny Dimes has the same amount of playoff wins as Kirk Cousins. I mean, that doesn't make you a better quarterback. We talked that earlier, Riz, on the phone. But so, of course, you guys got to be boring and go with the favorite. I mean, but that's just the way it is.
I mean, we all went with the top three, so it wasn't like anyone besides.
Yeah, we did. We did. So, I went with the least amount of favorite, but yeah, we went with the. All right, so let's move on to Coach of the Year. This award was won by another Cleveland Brown, Kevin Stefanski. Obviously, not just Deshaun Watson that went down. Nick Chubb went down in week 2. So he had a lot of injuries that occurred in the two most important positions for the Cleveland Browns outside Myles Garrett. And then he took them to the playoffs. It was a wild card spot. The top 3 betting odds is Jim Harbaugh, Matt Eberflus, and Mike Macdonald, the Seattle Seahawks coach. Didn't think about Mike Macdonald when I was thinking this list. So, Doc, lead us off.
Say it with me real quick, Mark. Matt Eberflus.
He needs to earn that. He needs to earn the correction on the name change. And then I'll call him the right name.
No, but he's my pick for Coach of the Year. I mean, this team,
had him last year,
top to bottom. I think I did. But top to bottom, this team is, in my opinion, I mean, I've never been so excited to be a Bears fan. My only question mark still is the quarterback, but top to bottom, otherwise, this team is stacked. We saw what Tyson Bagent did when he came in. Wasn't amazing, but he held it down. He did what he was expected to do for an undrafted quarterback. So I think that with the additions on the offense, the way the defense is going, he's my pick, because I think what the Bears are gonna reverse from last year, the opposite record they're gonna have, even if they win 10, 11 games, as long as they go to the playoffs, I think Eberflus is a lock.
Well, that's unless you hear Jake's opinion, because that might change. If his team gets in the playoffs, his coach gets in the playoffs, it's going to take away your quarterback. What is it, Jake?
I am going with the Chargers making the playoffs and Jim Harbaugh Coach of the Year.
Really?
That would knock out Eberflus, to be honest. It would knock him out, because you're not expecting. No one expects the Chargers. I mean, I was doing a thing today. I had the Chargers at like 4 wins, 5 wins. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't expect him to be in the playoffs.
Harbaugh made.
Well, there's more than
good. Just wait.
There's more than just the projections and what you do against the projections. I mean, it's still the overall turnaround from last season.
Well,
he's still got to come out and coach a young Caleb Williams.
What about the Chargers, where they literally cleaned house? They got rid of Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. They had a worse record than the Bears did.
I don't understand. I don't see the team.
And they're in a hard.
I mean, yeah, if they make it, he makes a really good case. But I don't see how the Chargers make the playoffs.
Frank says, and Frank, I had my cousin on the phone earlier today. He agrees with you. He thinks that the Vikings can make the playoffs, and if so, I can see Kevin O'Connell getting Coach of the Year. If he gets Sam Darnold, it was Riz too that said it as well. I had 2 guys tell me that if the Vikings not win the division, but if they get a wild card spot, Kevin O'Connell saying I took Sam Darnold to the playoffs. That right there has your name in the hat. Just honestly, Vikings get 9 wins and they make a playoff berth. That's pretty impressive.
I'm taking Josh Palmer right now, 175.
Jesus, well, you're in a 14-man league, but
right here,
Luke and Allen, they have Motor City Dan Campbell, so they're going probably no like potential teams. We're not expecting like Jake making the playoffs because Coach of the Year doesn't mean best record, but if there's really no injuries like the Browns that was last year, or like Jake thinks the Chargers making it, it could be just best team. So like you have that. I know Chris, he agrees with you. He's got Matt Eberflus, Doc, and then I'm going with the best offensive or the best team in the AFC. I'm going DeMeco Ryans for Coach of the Year. Texans get the 1 seed. I don't have any crazy team making the playoffs, and I'm going to go DeMeco Ryans in the second year with the Texans. I mean, it's just because I don't have anything. I can see if the Jaguars or Colts, hear me out, boys, Jaguars or Colts make it, I can see Shane Steichen or Doug Peterson getting Coach of the Year because nobody knows truthfully if those teams are going to be a playoff team, but they have talent to be a playoff team. So I can see Dougie P getting it or Shane Steichen. I could.
I just think it would take a lot for Campbell to get it because Lions were already great last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It would be a lot.
It just takes like dominating the year, no surprise teams making the playoffs, like
making the right calls on 4th down.
He does,
or not making the call on 4th down.
Most of those times those do work, but for the Lions, they won more games than they lost.
Not when it mattered.
I mean, last year in the playoffs, it didn't cost them the playoffs.
Yeah, did he like crap against the Niners?
Yeah, the 4th down was a drop though. He hit the receiver in the hands. That's a perfect call. You literally got to execute. It's not like it was a bad throw by Goff or it got stuffed. It was the receiver had it in his hands. I don't know.
It's not just being on the receiver though. It's about, do you take that chance because that can happen, or do you trust your defense and come out on the next drive?
Exactly.
Or I don't think the kick even mattered really too. It's like still a 1-score game at the point. Nothing really drastically changes the outcome of the game with a field goal. But let's move on, boys, to a position group in the draft. Remember we were watching it in the first round. Not much happened for the defense early on. So we're going to move on to the defensive rookie of the year, which was won by Will Anderson last year out of Alabama.
I had him.
Cool. You might have. I know some people did. But Will Anderson was the winner last year with the Houston Texans coming out of Alabama. This year, Latu, I can't pronounce his first name. I can't honestly tell it's the same, from UCLA with the Colts. Latu, yeah. Dallas Turner's number 2, and Byron Murphy, Murphy from Seattle, the Texas Longhorns D tackle, is number 3 in the betting odds. I was actually a little shocked there. So, what you got, Doc?
I'm kind of torn here. My 2 big guys that I had going early. Second one fell way further down than I think anyone expected. But I'm torn between Dallas Turner and Jared Verse because they're both explosive and they both can make a lot of great things happen. But I think for the sake of not going number 1, because him and Latu both have the same odds, I'm going to go with the homegrown boy from Florida State.
Of course you are.
Yeah. I'm going to be different.
And Alan agrees with you, Jay or Doc. He's got Jared Verse. He texted me this morning, and that was
really.
Yeah, it was Jared Verse is his defensive rookie of the year. Florida State kid going to the Los Angeles Rams. Also pairing up with the other Florida State boy.
Especially with Aaron Donald being gone now, he's the new guy.
Jake, what you got there, man?
I got Latu. I do have one of the betting favorites actually in this category.
And then Chris has Terrion Arnold, the Detroit Lions corner out of Alabama. So that's another Alabama player there. And Frank, I know you're happy. Frank, I know I see what you comment there, and me and Luke agree with you. We got Dallas Turner. We both have a back-to-back Alabama Crimson Tide pass rusher winning it this year. This time with the Minnesota Vikings. I personally think Dallas Turner is going to have 10 or 11 sacks this year. I think he's going to be on a decent little tear for a rookie. I think he's going to be solid. He's going to be one of the shining spots on the Minnesota defense. Coached by Brian Flores, who says Tua sucks. So you got to respect the opinion. So I'm going to go with Dallas Turner. I think he should have been the first defensive player picked this year. Atlanta fumbled the bag there, but I'm going to go Dallas Turner. Can't go wrong with. It's defensive player. I think defensive rookie of the year is tough this year, honestly, to pick.
It is. There's 4 guys that I really like.
Yeah, there's some studs.
Those top 4 guys, any one of those guys can honestly win it.
Yeah.
Well, this might be a boring one right here. The offensive rookie of the year, which was won by another Houston Texans, CJ Stroud, and Puka Nacua gave him a fight. But this year's betting odds are Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think I'm going JJ McCarthy on this one. Just
Frank
kidding.
Like
I'm going the obvious. We talked about it yesterday in the draft episode. The weapons around him. I think that even a down year, if he's a bad quarterback, there's still no way that he performs poorly enough to not win this award. Caleb Williams, one of the top receiving cores in the game right now, 1 through 3, and then add Cole Kmet, a stud at tight end, DeAndre Swift out of the backfield for a good check down. No way Caleb Williams doesn't win this.
I don't need a lifeline or a 50-50. Who wants to be a millionaire? Caleb Williams, final answer. It's his to lose. I mean, he's got the talent. I mean, he could honestly have a mediocre season and he's still going to win this award.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, he would just have to literally be absolutely awful for this not to be a decent year. I mean, it's just he's set up perfectly. It's his.
Riz says what color nail polish? That's a very. I mean, the experts have been saying they're playing the Titans, so he's going to go opposite. He's going to go the baby blue for the Tennessee Titans to throw them off their game, Riz. So I'm going with the baby blue.
If I'm a betting man, I'm going dark blue or orange.
Easy bet there, but It's funny that the 3 of us boys that are in the studio today, we agree. Caleb Williams is the easy answer. It's the answer that you're going to go. The 3 individuals that are not here, Luke, Chris, and Alan, they're going Jaden Daniels. So it's split down the middle. 3 Jaden Daniels, 3 Caleb Williams. Well, Chris is a Jaden Daniels fan. Luke's got Jaden Daniels in Dynasty, and Alan.
Alan is just anti-Bears.
Well, I think Alan loved Jaden Daniels. I mean, he loved Jaden Daniels coming out of the draft or into the draft season. So, he wanted to be a Patriot, which I understand why. I mean, Jaden Daniels is a dog. But, yeah, we're split down the middle. And I think this is the most boring pick, honestly, out of all the awards we're going to pick tonight. It's a 2-person race. The rookie tight end on the Jets, I forgot his name, but he has an elite quarterback. Who did the Jets draft at tight end this year?
I don't think he's second star though, or second string because
they have Conklin.
Yeah, because I think I either took Conklin or was looking at him.
Yeah, I don't know, Frank, who the Jets got tight end. I know they were talking about Brock Bowers went to he went to the Raiders. The Jets were supposed to draft him. Everyone thought they were going to draft him, Frank, but no. Brock Bowers is with the Raiders out in Vegas with Gardner Minshew. Yeah. We thought he was going to be a Jet. Trust me, that was on most of our mock drafts when we did the mock draft season. That was Jake. Frank, funny enough, Jake actually broke the news on the show. He said, "Hey, insider information." Him and Doc said Brock Bowers is going to be a Jet, and then we posted. But hey, boys,
it was reported everywhere.
Yeah, it was. Those 49ers. Those 49ers believe anything. The insiders, they throw the bait out there, is what you said. So let's go Defensive Player of the Year, which is typically a pass rusher award. Last year was won by Myles Garrett. I still think it should have been T.J. Watt. He led the league in sacks. I don't get how Myles Garrett.
Watt.
Yeah, T.J. Watt, one of the Watt brothers. This year's favorites is T.J. Watt, Micah Parsons, and Max Crosby from the Las Vegas Raiders at third. That is favorite.
Oh, I do like me some Crosby.
I went Micah last year, but I think T.J. Watt's the easy one here. That's my pick. I mean, there's really not much to say here.
I hate everything about this team. I hope they lose every single game. But I am going Parsons. I don't think he gets paid. I think he's going to be played mad. I think he's going to try to earn a big contract. I think Parsons is going to ball out this year.
And Dak won't get paid by the Cowboys, maybe. And yes, Patrick. Parsons and Dak aren't paid yet.
Dak didn't get paid?
No, just last year on his deal.
Oh, shit.
Supposedly they're talking, but no.
They're not close, though. They're not close.
No, not at all.
Yeah, Patrick, we always preach TJ Watt. The only hater on this show who hates TJ Watt is is Allen. He literally will disrespect that man's name. He'll say, I get it if you think Myles Garrett's better, but don't sit here and just bury Pat or TJ Watt because you think Myles Garrett's better. I get what you're saying, but TJ changes the Steelers more than Myles Garrett changes the Browns. That's my opinion, at least. And then, okay, so Doc, you said you had TJ Watt. Chris agrees with you. He went
Watt, yeah.
He went TJ Watt as well. Allen, this is an interesting one. He went Aiden Hutchinson from the Detroit Lions.
I thought about it.
You thought about it too?
I thought about it. I mean, he's been
growing. He's been growing.
He has. I don't think he's quite at that like elite level like the other folks in this category. I think the 5 in front of him are easily ahead of him for a reason. I think that he's going to get there. But I just don't think he's there yet.
My only issue with Aiden is he needs some help. Like
they got DJ Reader.
Yeah, they got help this year.
Because it's been so easy for teams to focus on him. Like he was literally by himself last year. I mean, they got Reader. So he could have a good year. I agree, but I'm saying he needed help. He was alone.
Frank, I'm not sure. I think we're always keeping an eye on Chris Jones. I think Chris Jones won the award in 2022. Wasn't he the winner in the 2022 season? I think he won Defensive Player of the Year. I know he was like top 2 or something like that. I really think he won the second Super Bowl year. Me and Luke had the same pick originally, and then we texted each other, and I kind of talked him out because I kind of wanted some difference on this. So Luke went with the bias. It wasn't his original pick. He went with the bias he picked. He went Kyle Hamilton out of the Baltimore Ravens. Honestly, Kyle Hamilton was the best safety last year. Kyle Hamilton is a dog. I'm not going to hate Luke too much on it because I think Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, you could go either or. Either of those guys could win it if they somehow ball out with turnovers and whatnot. Linebackers and secondary, you got to get turnovers. That's the thing. So he's banking on Kyle Hamilton.
Dude, Bland didn't even win it.
Well, but I think
turnovers don't help that much.
I think the last one to do it was Stephon Gilmore was the last corner to do it. But I am going the opposite. I don't want to pick pass rusher. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, Patrick. We agree. It's hard for a safety and corner to get it, but I'm going to go corner. I don't want to be like you guys. If I was going to go pass rusher, I was going to go Matt Crosby. I'm going to go a guy that's going to lead the league in interceptions. He's going to lead the league in deflections. He's going to be like a prime Revis Island out there. I'm going Sauce Gardner for my Defensive Player of the Year. He leads the league in interceptions. He's going to be the best player on that good Jets defense, and he's going to be a monster out there in the secondary. I just think Sauce, it's time. Year 3, he's getting due for a contract soon, and he's going to start balling out even more.
I mean, if he balls out, that puts the ball more in Rodgers' hand to get that comeback Player of the Year.
You're okay. So we'll swap. Yeah, okay. I'll get mine right, and then you get your right. I'm good with that. I'm good with the trade-off. But let's go to the Offensive Player of the Year, which was won by Mr. Christian McCaffrey last year, and he is the favorite this year, followed by Tyreek Hill and CeeDee Lamb, recently paid, so no worry about him missing time. Are you guys going to be boring, or are you guys going to mix it up?
No, I'm going CeeDee Lamb here. I think what he did last year with Dallas, I think Dak's only going to come back better with him. The only thing that might cause a problem is, the other weapons in Dallas and double covering CeeDee Lamb all game long. But I think the guy's just an absolute stud. I don't think there's a way that they can lock him down. When I look at, the options, Jamar Chase, that's not going to happen unless Joe Burrow can start looking down the field again. Jefferson, shocked to have him on there. I mean, he's going to get his targets. I think he's going to do well, but I don't know if he's going to put up MVP numbers with Sam Darnold. Tyreek Hill, I don't know. I mean, I like Tyreek Hill. I just don't think it's going to happen. And
he was close last year. Tyreek was close last year.
I'm going CeeDee Lamb.
It's a good pick. I mean, he just got paid.
Yeah, that was my number 2 pick was Lamb. But I'm going old back to back. Give me CMC, baby.
We all have to have a biasy pick. We all got one so far. And
my dynasty team appreciates that.
Jake, you're not alone, though, because Chris and Luke agree with you. They got Christian McCaffrey as well.
My big league is on Sunday. I have the number 1 pick. It's going to be CMC, so I'm hoping to.
Allen is going the guy he hyped up last night during the fantasy draft episode after it was just me and you, Doc. He's going Bijan Robinson. He thinks Bijan is going to be the offensive player of the year. We saw how he spoke last night during the chats. He's high on him. I mean, it's
not a bad pick. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's not a bad pick. I mean, it's not the most far-fetched. Well, it's not like picking a safety from the Baltimore defense.
I am, Doc, going to go with the guy you named. You know, this guy has been asking for some money this year. I don't think he gets paid yet. I think it goes to next season. He gets paid. We just saw CeeDee Lamb get his bag, right? And we are about to get Jamar Chase having a monster year. He's going to get the bag next year. He's going to I don't think Joe Burrow is going to be MVP, but I think Joe Burrow is going to throw up some numbers that is going to help him maybe win MVP. But I'm going to have Jamar Chase leading the league in reception yards, 1,800 yards or so. He probably has about, I'd say, 11 or 12 touchdowns. He'll probably have 115 catches. He's going to be a monster this year, and that's going to be one of the reasons why the Cincinnati Bengals win the AFC North once again. So I'm going Jamar Chase, Offensive Player of the Year.
My dynasty team appreciates that too.
And, you don't have him in redraft. Never mind. I was going to say in redraft, but yeah, Jamar Chase. And then this is the big award, boys. We are now to the 2024 Most Valuable Player. Last year, it was won by the two-time MVP, Lamar Jackson. This year, the top 3 betting odds is Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. When it's time to crown the 2024 MVP, who will it be?
I'll go last on this one.
I'll read the other 3. Luke is going back to back.
Shocker.
His boy,
Jesus
number
Christ,
8,
shocker.
Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens. Another shocker pick. Chris Meinhardt is going with his college hometown boy, Joe Burrow. That's the reason why Joe Burrow is not coming back Player of the Year for Chris, because Joe Burrow, in Chris's mind, will be the 2024 MVP. And Allen has totally flipped the script on the Buffalo Bills because he has Josh Allen as his most valuable player this year.
Weak. I ain't going none of those three favorites. I am going out to Texas. I'm taking CJ Stroud for MVP.
Jake,
all right.
Or Doc?
No, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. I'm going last.
So the easy pick, obviously, is Patrick Mahomes, right? I ultimately think he will win MVP, but I don't want to be born with the most valuable player. I'm not. I was all day between Joe Burrow and this guy and that guy, and maybe I just do stick to being boring. But no, I'm not being boring tonight. I'm on Jake's bandwagon there. I am with the coach of the year, DeMeco Ryans, right? He's going to have the best. They're going to have the best record in the AFC. They're going to have the 1 seed's going to go through Houston. CJ Stroud is the MVP. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Dalton Schultz, Joe Mixon. It's the best situation in the NFL for any quarterback right now. Better than Caleb, just barely, because CJ Stroud is more proven than Caleb at the moment. And I trust Joe Mixon over DeAndre Swift, Dalton Schultz over Cole Kmet. The receivers, you can go whatever way you want to go. But CJ Stroud, MVP, 5,000-plus passing yards, 45 touchdowns, probably about 10 or 11 interceptions. He's going to have a monster year this year.
I hope so for my fantasy league last night.
You may notice that when I was talking about Offensive Player of the Year, there was one name that I did not mention. One guy that I left out, didn't even talk about him. And that's because I have him winning the MVP. I am going with my boy, Christian McCaffrey, CMC. I think the rushing game is going to step up this year. I think the versatility and the two-way player that he brings to this team can't go unnoticed. This is a dude, I'm telling you, there is not a player in this league that I think deserves it more than what CMC has put his team on his back from Carolina to San Francisco. A lot less in San Francisco, but I think he just needs to get up on the receiving yards, I think is what's hurting him the most. But I think we see an increase in production for him this year if he stays healthy, and I think he puts up the numbers because I had him last year as a favorite for MVP. 391 fantasy points last year, number 1 running back, number 3 overall in the league. I think he deserved it far more than Joe Burrow did.
Over any quarterback. Over quarterback last year, he should have gotten it.
I think for me, it was a toss-up. I mean, aside from what happened in the playoffs, it was a toss-up between him and Dak because you can't ignore the numbers on Dak. I'm not. I mean, I like Dak last year because I had him in fantasy. I'm not a Dak fanboy. I've always kind of been against him since he's been in Dallas because of his terrible play. But he stepped it up last year, over 4,500 yards, the best, I think, touchdown interception ratio. One of the leaders, if not the league leader in touchdowns. I mean, the guy made plays, made things happen. But I think this year, I think you got to respect CMC and what he does for the game and his team. That's what I'm picking. I think I might have picked him last year too. I don't remember.
I lost notes in the move, but Doc, I just, it's hard because I feel like the quarterbacks this year are going to get back to what they should be. Last year was a downfall for some of them, and that's why I agree. Last year in 2023, it should have been Christian McCaffrey, but I ultimately don't see how and to answer your question, Cam, CJ Stroud had 23 touchdowns to 5 interceptions.
5.
So 23 to 5. That's almost a 5-to-1 ratio, and that's not bad. Now I think he didn't throw the ball as much, and he missed some games. So the volume's going to go up. So, yeah, I'd maybe expect maybe 10. But still, 45-10 year, that's not a bad year. I mean,
21 touchdowns, by the way, for CMC.
Raheem Mostert had 21 touchdowns.
Yeah, but Raheem Mostert was a role player for it.
And
how many yards did he have?
I'd have to look at that. I just know he had 21 or 22. He led the league. No, I mean, those are our awards. I mean, now we can start taking questions. Now we can start talking fantasy for a little bit. Jake's doing fantasy right now. Honestly, he's doing fantasy at the moment. We did start the show, boys, with CeeDee Lamb. I know you guys were a little late to the party, but how do we feel about the CeeDee Lamb signing? What is that, and how does that affect the Dallas Cowboys going forward? Oh, and shout out. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna throw it up there for you. Riz is shouting out Jake. He likes the Henry Ruggs shirt. Thinks about NASCAR because it likes to go fast.
Oh, yeah.
Riz, you fucking hillbilly.
Sean, shout out to you, Sean. He's agreeing with Chris. He's got Joe Burrow as the most valuable player. Thanks, Sean, for that comment, man. Are you a Bengals fan, or are you a big Joe Burrow guy this year? But yeah, how you guys feel about the Dallas Cowboys situation going forward with Dak, Micah after Lamb got paid?
I mean, it had to be done. I mean, I'm good. I mean, I think it's fortunate for Dallas that he wasn't looking to be over Jefferson's contract. You know, he made sure he wasn't the highest paid. But it's a massive.
I think the signing bonus helped him.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's what the holdup was. I think they were knocking out all those little details. But I mean, it needed to be done. I mean, Lamb's a stud. I don't know where these next two, what happens. I just don't see either one being signed right now. But I mean, if you're going to do one or the other, you got to do Dak, right? I mean, because you can't let Dak hit the open market if you want him at all. If he hits the open market, someone's going to overpay him.
To answer your question, Cam, I don't think it changes the Ayuk situation because I think Ayuk knows he's not getting that money from the Niners. I think it changes Sean's team, the Bengals. He said he's a Who Dey Nation guy. It changes Jamar Chase's situation. Now, does Jamar Chase get more than Justin Jefferson? I think there are also, Jake, was those reports that it was all about $1 million difference, and it sounded like that CD caved back to the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys probably made it right with the signing bonus. So
the signing bonus, yeah.
They, he's like, all right, I don't need 35, I'll take 34, and then the signing bonus and the $100 million guaranteed too, pretty good right there as well.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm going to tack on to on Cam's question, but I don't think it changes Ayuk at all because Niners have already let him test the market, so to speak. They let him find a trade partner, and Steelers, nobody besides the Patriots was going over 30 where he wanted. So I mean, he's not getting that money. He knows he's not getting that money. So I think it's going to end up being lower, and he knows it.
And it can't change anything, too, because he didn't reset the market. Like we said, Jefferson's still the highest paid receivers and highest paid non-quarterback. So it doesn't change the fact because Lamb took less. I mean, I can understand if he maybe took more, but I don't think Ayuk hasn't lived up to what CeeDee Lamb has done because they came in the same draft. And in 4 years, I mean, Ayuk's been hot the last 2 seasons, but Lamb has been hot most of the time he's been there. I was wrong about CeeDee Lamb not being a number 1 in the NFL. I was wrong about that. I will eat my words, and I will always say that I was wrong. I was wrong. No, I was wrong. I mean, but I can admit it. I can admit when I was wrong. Just like I want to hear if Joe Burrow ever wins a Super Bowl in the next couple of years, Jake better say he was wrong about being a bust.
It's not. Don't have to worry about that happening. Don't worry.
But What you think,
No,
Sean?
if that
though, just
happens,
here-
Luke's got to wear a Burrow jersey on the show.
Oh, dude, I
Yeah.
don't think
I would
Luke's
too.
comments about Joe Burrow can never hold water. But Sean, what you think about the Bengals this year? What do you think they're going to be, man? You said Burrow MVP. You're a Bengals fan. What do you think the Bengals season is going to look like this year? But Jock, how do you feel about what do you think about Parsons? Are they going to be able to pay Parsons and Dak, or what's the situation you think is going to happen?
I got to look at the contracts, the money situation in Dallas. I know they put a lot of money into the offensive line for good reason. I mean, it's very effective. I think if you're gonna pick between the two, I think with how Dak has been playing, I think Dak gets paid.
Yeah, I mean, they got to pay Dak first.
Especially coming out of the draft, which you have available lately on the edge rushers. I mean, it's a lot easier to replace a Micah Parsons. Maybe not exactly to that level, but it's a lot easier to replace an edge rusher than a quarterback right now out of the draft. Because quarterbacks, don't matter how many you get drafted, 90% of them are busts.
I mean, I agree with you, Sean, though, too, real quick. Jamar Chase, I mean, he's always elite. It's just if he misses games, misses games. But Jamar's always elite. No one's ever going to question Jamar Chase's elite and the status in the league. If they let Micah Parsons go, man, that's going to be big because I think a guy like Mike Zimmer could utilize. I mean, they were talking about using Micah back off ball as well. Again, like he's going to go back to not just being a strictly pass rusher. So it looks like he's going to do a lot of things in the Mike Zimmer style defense and whatnot. So it's just hard because, I mean, how can you – I don't think they can be able to afford all three of these guys. Or if they are, then no one else is going to get paid.
I mean, you got to look at the Niners. How many people we're paying? Salary cap. I mean, there's ways to work around it. I mean, people will take pay cuts. I mean, they could.
You using a figure situation out with Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
Trent's holding out. He said.
Yeah, Trent's holding out. He said he'll hold out in the regular season, but he's still got like 3 years on his deal, so he needs to stop being a diva too. But
what? He's got 3 years left and he's holding out?
He wants more money.
He wants more money for the contracts that he's currently on. They want him to add on.
Buddy, that's not how contracts work. I can't believe you can hold. That's my problem with the NFL is how you can hold out like that. Like, you're under contract. I get it, you're not going to get paid, but you're under contract.
It's all of them. I mean, even Julio Jones was under contract, but everyone else started making more than him, and he started throwing a fit. I'm like, you just signed that contract. That's your fault.
Yeah, I know. Like the last year, maybe we can allow a little something, but like, dude, you got 3 years left. Sit down.
It's like Jamar Chase. Like they were saying, "Oh, is Jamar Chase going to hold out?" I was like, dude, Jamar Chase is not holding out for 2 seasons. He's only going into year 4 and of a 5-year contract. Like when they pick up that 5th-year option, he's got 2 seasons left. Like, I mean, what happened, Jake?
No, you're good.
Oh, I thought your fantasy draft something happened.
No, it's bad.
No, they definitely won't. He definitely won't hold out. Jamar Chase, I don't think is that kind of player. Plus, you take him out of the equation in Cincinnati, he knows that team is everybody's going to resent him. Cincinnati won't even bring him back.
Yeah.
How'd your team look, dude, Jake?
Pretty good. I got Lamar Jackson, Breece Hall, James Cook, Zay Flowers, Pickens, Ferguson, Sutton, Jets defense, and Jake Elliott.
This is a 14-man, right?
14-man.
You stacked with right there with the Lamar, Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I got Flowers pretty late too, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stack it.
Should have stacked with Andrews though.
Yeah, I just didn't want to get tight end. I got Ferguson, but
that's the correct weapon though for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, that is the true WR1 for the RB1.
Sean says, y'all notice right here. It says, y'all notice Burrow's arm strength. He was throwing ropes in training camp. I'm just hoping Jamar isn't rusty to start the season. I'm not worried about Jamar Chase whatsoever.
Jamar ain't gonna be rusty, dude.
Yeah,
you're not worried about that.
CeeDee Lamb, they'll be just fine. Guaranteed. They've been practicing and doing their
Sean,
own
Sean, how you gonna come out talking about Jamar will be elite this year and hopefully he's not rusty?
Comment of the night, by the way, boys. Wide receiver 1 for the RB1, talking about the Ravens.
You can use that one, Cam. You can use that one at work. Take that home with you.
I starred that one. That will be on the star for the night. No, I mean, boys, I mean, last night, Jake, I'm telling you, last night you missed. Yeah, Bengals start slow. I mean, but hey, Sean, it doesn't matter. You played the New England Patriots week 1. you're going to be well warmed and in tune for the Kansas City Chiefs week 2 when you annihilate the New England Patriots, probably 38-10, 38-13.
I think you're starting slow though is on. I think Joe Burrow's getting handcuffed, man. The target is going down every year. The pass, like the attempts beyond 10, 20 yards is going down every year. I don't know if it's handcuffed or if like last year it was because of the injury that he was battling early on, but they're taking him out of the equation.
I know what it is, Doc. Joe Burrow has never, in the 4 seasons he's played, has never had a training camp. This is the first time he's had a training camp. So now he's actually been in rhythm. Chemistry's there with the receivers, with the running back.
Hopefully you're not taking the first 4 weeks doing that because you're doing it during spring training.
So like now he's warmed up. He's ready to go. I don't think you might lose week 2. You might lose week 2, Sean, to the Kansas City Chiefs. You could beat them. It's the Burrow-Mahomes rivalry. You're getting them early. You never know what's going to happen, but you should beat New England. He should be warmed up, ready to go. I'm not worried about the Bengals this year, honestly, unless the injuries happen.
That's what I'm saying about the handcuffs, Sean. That's what I'm talking about is the play calling because it's just...
Well, it's a new play caller, too. It's a new offensive coordinator.
They need to open it up. They need to open up the field in Cincinnati.
I think Taylor's the play caller anyways. I don't think Callahan really had much to like calling on the ball. I think he helped. There's kind of like people that coach with Andy Reid. You have an opinion, but ultimately the head coach is going to make that decision.
Yeah.
This guy's team's name's Rock Out with my Brock out.
Yeah, Doc, what's your team name going to be?
Let's see what we got, man. Let's take a look at it.
Cam said he received a trade today. He was Scary Terry for Deontay Johnson and Devin Singletary. He would get Deontay and Singletary. I remember he had Scary Terry. I don't know, man. I think he just keeps Terry McLaurin on that one. I don't. What do you think, Jake?
What is it?
He gets rid of Terry McLaurin, and then he gets Deontay Johnson and Devin Singletary.
No, I keep Scary Terry. I don't do that trade. I'm kind of excited about Scary Terry, honestly, and obviously Daniels, but I would keep that. Maybe later on if you need to trade Scary Terry, but not for Deontay and Singletary.
What do you mean, Sean? We'll see what pitcher will do. I'm not sure what you mean there. Yeah, Doc, me and Jake have our team names. At the moment, I'm hitting runs. I made the dash cam my photo. I might go King Henry's Chubb and get like an eggplant as my photo for Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb.
That's cute.
Jake went with, what'd you go with, Jake? Hawk Tua, but instead of like the HAWK, he went HOCK for T.J. Hawkinson.
Oh, if he had Tua, he could. Oh man,
what was your picture? Did you change your picture?
I'm working on it. I gotta find a URL that's approved.
Yeah, you have to literally go on Google and then right-click the photo on images, and you have to hopefully it's like not too large and the URL is approved. I had to find like Chris's name. It's Christian Youth Camp, but he found a picture of Chris McCaffrey on a candle as like Jesus, and he was going to put that, but it wouldn't let him do it.
Yeah, I found a few, but it wouldn't let me do it here, and I was on my phone though, so I'm gonna try it on.
Welcome to ESPN.
Wade has the best name of the group. He's got Hurts When I Pee. Like, I mean, that's a pretty good one there. Oh, you mean offensive coordinator Dan? Yeah, but once again, Sean, I don't think the OC is calling the plays. I think it's Zach Taylor. I think the OC is going to have a say in what to do. He's maybe going to coordinate, with the quarterback, and the quarterback's coach. But I think it's going to be ultimately on Zach Taylor, who is the play caller. I don't think that your offensive coordinator is the true play caller. It's kind of like the Rams and the Chiefs and all the Miami Dolphins. These guys have coordinators, but the 49ers, for example, the offensive coordinator doesn't call plays in San Francisco. During preseason.
Only preseason.
Yeah, only preseason, which is nice for Kyle Shanahan. Maybe Kyle Shanahan should let him do it in the playoffs when the ego check is starting to take over. It's kind of like checks and balances.
Bad idea.
Checks and balances.
Might not be a bad idea at all.
Also, if you're listening tonight, like I said, tomorrow or Wednesday night, August 28th, myself, Doc, and hopefully Luke will be here live to talk college football, get us prepared for week 1. Game start this Thursday for week 1. We are going to recap a little bit of the Saturday game, talk SMU potentially, and their near upset. Unfortunately, Doc, we are going to talk a little Florida State, Georgia Tech. And then we are going to hype up Florida State, Boston College, Florida, Miami. That's going to be, I think, the game that I'm most looking forward to. USC, LSU. We have Texas A&M, Notre Dame. We also have Clemson and Georgia. So, I mean, if Florida wins, it doesn't do anything to Miami. They're still 0-0 in the ACC. So, I mean, it doesn't really do anything for the Dolphins or for the Hurricanes.
That's true.
They'll drop down the rankings, and Florida might be possibly ranked. Florida has the hardest schedule in FBS this year. They have 8 ranked opponents. November. If you go look at their November schedule, Jake, I know you're a Gator fan. I don't know how much you looked in that schedule. Your November schedule is brutal. It is. I mean,
it's not just November. Our schedule is brutal.
Oh, and yeah, like the Gators in general. Let's look at the Gators real quick because you're not going to be on. Because you know, church comes first for the household. There, I understand. So right here, you guys start off with the Miami Hurricanes at home. You play Samford. Okay, that you should win that one.
Yeah.
Then you host Texas A&M. You go to Mississippi State. You stay home for UCF. You go to Tennessee, who's ranked at the moment. You stay home for the Kentucky Wildcats. You go to Jacksonville for Georgia. You go to Texas to face the Longhorns. You host the LSU Tigers. You play Ole Miss at home, and then you go to Florida State. That's brutal, man.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and count that last week a loss. Go ahead and chalk that up now.
For FSU, yeah, I agree.
No, yeah, because we beat y'all down in the swamp last year, so now you're going our turf.
Cam or Sean, I'm sorry. I'm high on Jermaine Burton as well, but there's another receiver that Joe Burrow's high on. It's a weird name. Isova, whatever. He's supposed to be the third receiver, and then of course, if T. Higgins leaves after next year, you'll have him with Jermaine Burton. Burton has looked nice this preseason, though. I will give him that. Every time the Bengals play, Jermaine Burton's making plays with the backup. So I think Jermaine Burton was a good pick. I believe it was third or fourth round. He's an Alabama receiver.
If one of them are balling out, does Bengals trade T. Higgins midway through the year?
I think so. I mean, why not?
Like, you got to get something for them instead of letting them walk, right?
It's all going to depend on where they're at in the season. Because if they're making a strong playoff push and they're looking real good, you're not disrupting that chemistry. You'll let a guy walk for nothing if it gets a Super Bowl.
Because you have that Super Bowl, and then you can just still be good next year.
And you might have bargaining tools with him if you get that Super Bowl.
If you get that Super Bowl, yeah, you're right.
And he would have to approve the team. Like, I don't think the Bengals, if they're in a playoff push, they're not going to give him to another playoff push team because that's who he's going to want to sign with.
Yeah.
So would it take being like a top 1-2 in the AFC to not trade him, or are we talking just anywhere in
playoffs? Anywhere that's playoff.
I think there's got to be a viable contention for a late playoff push. I mean, we've seen teams that are going to the playoffs that we know are not going to stand a chance, and I don't think that's going to do it. But I mean, who knows? Because any home playoff game is revenue for the team. They're going to clean up. They're going to make revenue. So having any home playoff games is going to be a win for them. So I think it's going to come down to where they're at. But I mean, the business side of me, you don't see playoff teams making moves like that because that could very well knock you out.
The only way I see them trading him, Jake, is if, like, let's say Joe Burrow gets hurt again and the season's over. Yeah. Like, Joe Burrow gets hurt in the first few weeks. It's a season-ending surgery. You move on from T. Higgins, and then you get a high draft pick. Whatever pick you're going to get, you also will have a better pick because your quarterback's hurt. And then you could draft the receiver in the first round. There's a handful of them, like 3 or 4 of that are potential first rounders this year. So I think the only way that happens is if Joe Burrow gets hurt or something like that. I just don't see him giving away this year. I think the Bengals are going to be good if they're healthy. We've seen it when they're healthy. They're not a problem. They're not a problem of not making the playoffs. They made the playoffs both years. They win the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl. So
they always have 2 problems: Burrow's hurt, or that just awful O-line that they never work on.
Yeah, they always got one. Terrible.
O-line's always terrible.
Boys, we're 10 nights away from the NFL. We are 10. We are 10 nights away. We did clear things up. Jake told me I will get my money when he gets paid. So good news there. I was a little nervous, Jake. I almost had to send a hitman out.
You just had to put that shit out there like that?
Well, I wanted to, because I was getting a lot of shit last night, so I wanted to let the people know that Jake's a good man, and he does right by you.
Look, man, let us just scavenge a team. I'll take a quarterback or two off your hands for you.
Jake's I was watching our fantasy episode last night this morning, and it was actually pretty good. I mean, some of these picks didn't realize what was going on, you know, because obviously we're still preparing for our team, man. Very interesting draft last night. Just a lot of running backs, man. A lot of running backs. But
yeah, this league that I just did right now that I just finished, I got Breece Hall at 5. He was gone. What, at ours at 3?
Was Breece Hall the second running back, or is it Bijan?
Bijan.
Yeah, it was the top 3 running backs were gone 1, 2, 3,
mm-hmm.
And then it went all receivers until Jahmyr Gibbs to you at 11. Yep. No, sorry, Saquon
and Gibbs
at 9. Cam says he got Breece Hall at 7. He falls sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping he was going to fall at 7 last night. That's where I was at. I would have picked Breece Hall right away, and then I would have settled for Devontae Adams or another running back. Maybe Derrick Henry would have been running back too. I'd have been happy with it. But no, I mean, it's fantasy football for you. It's hard, like I said, it's hard to mock. You really can't mock. I saw that Kip today. Jake says he plays with randoms, and that helps. That's his mock draft essentially. He plays with randos. I was like, that's weird. I was like,
you actually play a full ass league and call that your mock draft?
Yeah, he does it. He does it to see how drafts are unfolding, but then he ends up playing the season.
You're playing with randoms though. There's no money on the line. People ain't fucking. I did that one year. I thought I was joining, dude. When I first started fantasy, I thought I was doing like mock drafts. I was joining leagues. I think I was in like 14 leagues right off the rip.
How'd you do?
Oh, I deleted all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, this is not what I wanted to do, and I'm not doing this shit. I'm not in the league unless I'm here to play.
I have a draft this Thursday for Jules League. He's the commissioner. So I draft Thursday night. It's one of those drafts you find out. Cam said 0-14 season. So Doc, he's saying you didn't win a damn league out of those 14.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Because I think I just did drafts. I didn't even look at anything.
And then Riz's draft is Monday. He might have a spot, Doc. I know he was waiting to see 2 last spots, so he might have a spot open if you are potentially interested in Riz's league. So,
how much is it?
$100. He shot up his prices back to the same as mine.
He doesn't play with, so he's got no kickers, right?
Everything. It's just no kickers. He has a defense. No, I'm sorry, no defense. No kickers. He has a defense.
Yeah, if he's got room, I could do it. I could do another one.
You have to reach out to him. Though.
Is it a redraft?
It's a redraft, yeah.
Yeah, I could jump in another one.
Look at Cozy coming in here clutch. Oh, Daniel Cozy. It's a good man too. All Jake's friends are good, man. Look.
All of my friends are hoodlums. What's everyone now is a microphone and a camera.
Thanks, Tim.
Censor people watching soon to be too. This is garbage.
I mean, hey man, thanks Tim for the view. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch, man. But thanks for commenting, man. You know, appreciate you hopping in just to let us know that.
I had no idea until Tim said that. I'm quitting the show.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm quitting the show. I had no idea that's what was going on here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, we're just 6 guys. 6 of us do it. So 6 of us just talking sports. I mean, just like you do with your friends. Maybe your opinions are better off air. I don't know. I mean,
Tim, I got to say, nothing gets past you, does it? You are quite the observant, aren't you? I bet you have a lot of friends too. I bet you have a lot of friends behind your keyboard.
Let's be a little nice, you know. Oh, shout to
I think Cam. I think Tim's upset because Tim couldn't even get a co-host on his show for nobody to watch. You know, I think he was just feeling a little lonely. A man. I think I actually seen his show. It was called A Man in His Mom's Basement. And I think he had a hard time getting anybody to come on and talk. I think even his mom said that she wouldn't even get on there.
And I will say, Tim, during our fantasy or during our draft for the NFL draft, we actually were up to it's only 40 viewers. We were up to 40, 50 viewers at one point consistently just watching us do the NFL draft where we were ahead of the NFL network, ESPN. I mean, last night we had some viewers for our fantasy draft. I mean, we're just 6 guys that have passion for the sport, and we just want to talk football and engage with people that want to ask us questions what our opinions are. If our opinions are wrong, that's why they're an opinion. So, but thanks, Tim.
I think the only thing consistently wrong here is Tim. That's going to be the title of this episode. Tim is wrong.
We do this for Jake. What do we do this for again?
For clicks.
There we go. We do this for clicks.
I do it for a paycheck. All right. I'll get my 6 cents. Oh shit! No, I'm actually paying. God damn.
I've been waiving y'all StreamYard fees the last couple months. I haven't even kept track of it no more. It's like what I
think I paid you for a year, didn't I?
You did not pay for a year, no.
Did I not?
No.
I'll go back and look.
The most someone paid was I think Alan paid 4 months at a time, and I just stopped caring, honestly. But no, it does seem like I'm gonna go by Cam said gonna go to Best Buy, Tim, and cop that Karen mic. Yeah, Cam, join us, man. I'll send you a link for the day. If you want to join us.
Look at that, dude. We got just like that. Another one. Another one. 7. He said soon to be 2. Another one. Tim, look, man. I know. Listen, I don't want to beat a dead horse here. I know you live a sad, depressing life, but you ain't gotta. You gotta come in here and try to spread that around here, dude. All right?
Yeah.
We don't care. We're here having a good time.
Pat, bad publicity is good publicity.
It's publicity.
It's a click. It got him to join. Hey, the comment helps potentially grab other people to watch. It's an engagement. He engaged.
How many more drafts you got?
I have 2. I have one Thursday and one Monday.
I have one Saturday.
I'm sorry.
Don't ask me why they chose Saturday for a draft, but they did.
College football day?
Oh, man.
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry, Jake. Not Thursday. They changed it today. It's 7 at 8 or 9 p.m. I don't think they announced the time yet. So Sunday and Monday for me.
I got mine Sunday 3:00.
And neither, I don't know what pick we're doing. Riz was talking about doing like that video, like you get like a race on the camera, kind of like the Ducks or whatever. He's talking about doing one of those, and we get like a random fucking character on the screen, and we got to root for
the draft order. Oh
yeah.
Gosh!
I was like, yeah, cool. I was like, yeah, it's like the duck video. I think we had like a yellow duck, purple duck, whatever. All
dude, you got to get the sausages at least. You got to get the Milwaukee sausages.
I told Chris, I was like, it'd be awesome if we could all meet up and do like a little combine. But then I was like, it's hard for us to all 12 be in the same draft war room.
You know what you should do?
Fly together.
You know what you should do? You should bring Tim on the show and let him pick the order with all of his wisdom.
Doc's gonna be fumed for a day or 2.
Yeah.
No, I just like talking shit.
I don't know. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. It's just the way that sports podcasts with friends are. Some people click in, some people click out.
I'm just here to talk to my buddies about football. It's better than
exactly.
That's it. It's better than just doing it on the phone,
Yeah, right. We're throwing our opinions out there, and if people want to chime in and say, hey, we're idiots for this, or hey, man, good take, okay. Well, why are we idiots? What would you think differently? Like, that's all.
Yeah, Tim, what do you think, man?
I want to know what Tim
thinks.
I want to know his NFL team is.
He is, God, if I had to put money on it, I could go with Patriots because he's miserable in the downfall.
I was going to say the Giants because he's miserable, but I guess either one works.
Giants is probably the next one. If I had Danny Turnover as my quarterback, I'd be pretty upset too.
I'd be upset, yeah. What college?
I come on and talk some shit to some podcasters.
What college do you think he roots for?
Oh, that's a good one.
USC, maybe the Irish.
I could see the Irish. It's got to be a powerhouse is just not good, or like a Vanderbilt. Just got no business being in the conference that they're at.
Oh, he said Tim is a Panthers fan. Cam said Tim's a Panthers fan post 2015.
That's tough.
That's rough
That's
too.
tough. God, until last year, I would have said Michigan because Michigan chokes. I would have said Michigan before last year, but they sealed the deal. That's tough. Well, we feel for you, Tim. We wish you the best. We wish you, a happier life than you've apparently been having. You're obviously looking for something, being on YouTube out here. Hey, watch it, Cam. All right? Watch it, Cam. Cam, listen, buddy. Cam, we got along until just now, okay?
I think Tony might know this guy because Tony just randomly FaceTimed me. He might have got some guy he's probably with somebody to watch it and comment. But
if this is Tony, I swear.
I was about to answer the phone. He dropped the call and then I called him back and he ignored it right away. So a little suspect right now, But no, Grips Up, boys. We're going to come back Wednesday. Like I said, talk a little college ball. And then we'll be back Tuesday as well to give our official NFL predictions. And I'm hoping that Chris will be back. We should have 5 of us here to discuss our official NFL playoff predictions. Who do we have going? Who do we have getting right round? And more importantly, who do we have winning the Super Bowl this year in the city of New Orleans, out in the great state of Louisiana? So that is what we're going to discuss next Tuesday. Wednesday, talk a little college football. It is going to be a packed weekend.
Tough week for me.
It is. And what's wrong, Doc?
I got to acknowledge Florida State, man. I'm not ready for it.
What do you mean?
I'm not ready to acknowledge what happened to Florida State.
I mean, that happened like days ago.
I know.
You're still in that moment.
I'm still living from the fucking CFP last year, dude.
Oh, you're still on that. That's why Chris and I keep bringing it up.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about it this year.
Jake, we used to be friends, Jake. You're about to get put in the doghouse with Allen.
Actually, I got one for you, Doc.
You're about to get put in with Allen.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Jake?
I said at least you don't have to worry about the CFP this year.
Unbelievable, this guy.
Hey, I don't know if this is their official song, but this is the Georgia Tech marching band. You can play their music.
Well, it's been real, y'all.
Yeah, it's been fun. No, it's time to get out of here. We're gonna talk Wednesday. We'll be back here at probably 9 p.m. to talk a little college ball. Tuesday next week to talk NFL predictions. Wednesday to talk the NFL weekly predictions, who we think is going to win each game, all 16 games. So we have 3 episodes literally in the next 8 days. We don't know if they're solid cam anymore.
Oh, man. Hey, watch your mouth.
Oh, College Ball 25. You got the video game.
Oh, yeah.
God damn,
until they update it. Remember, they update it weekly, so maybe they'll fall out with the ratings. But I'm Mark Davis.
CFP in the video game.
Well, on freshman mode, Doc's gonna here. Tony's calling me now. Let me see if it's actually
junior varsity. Unbelievable. What? When did this become shit on Doc and FSU Day? All right. For the love of God.
When you were the first team to lose, that's what happened.
Does it say Tim on my box? Okay.
I think Tony bought a new car. I think he got rid of the Tesla. I'm upset now.
Did he really?
He just showed me a car. He FaceTimed me real quick, said my live. I was like, yeah. He turns around and it looks like he got rid of the Tesla.
Oh,
pretty good.
I'm up. I couldn't really tell. I got off real quick. I said I'll call you back in a few minutes. The Tesla was nice because it was free gas. Like it's no gas, and I go home and I drive it for free. Don't have to worry about filling anything up. Just gotta plug it back in when I get home. Now I gotta fucking deal with the car gas again. Tony's selfish.
How dare he? How dare he get a gas guzzling machine without thinking about when Mark comes home and needs a car on leave?
Exactly.
For no more than 30 days a year.
Man, selfish. But no, I'm Mark Davis. That's Jake Winnicott. That is Nick the Docs Kirkwins. We'll be back Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 days, 3 shows. This is All About the Boss podcast. Have a great night. We are out.